Hey everyone, Bill Miller here again, talking about emotional abuse, verbal abuse, and even physical abuse in relationships from the abuser side. I'm a 30 plus year abuser, probably 33, 34 year abuser. Not like I've abused every person in my life, it's not like it happens all the time, but it is something that the more I get involved, the more I closer I get to somebody, probably the more scared I used to get, and the more defensive I used to get, the more abusive I would get to ensure that I didn't get hurt, to ensure that my wife never knew that how much she controlled my heart and my life and my happiness. So I would tend to put her down, minimalize our love, minimalize my feelings for her, and how honored I was to be her husband, am to be her husband. Honored how much I was honored to wake up next to her every morning, go to bed with her every night. But instead of letting her know all that stuff, I would minimalize my love for her, my commitment to us, and I would insult her to make her not feel special. I would get angry over just random little things would set me off because I was such a horrible communicator with her. We communicated very poorly, especially about issues, challenges, problems in our relationship. And when you do that, you never really resolve anything. So you just builds. It just builds and builds and builds until the dumbest little things set you off, and you just tend to blow up over nothing. To her, she always was like, I would go 0 to 60, just like that. Well, that was because we never resolved anything. So the tension would just build, the anger would just build, and it would never subside. You would just push it, bury it, push it off to the side, do whatever you do, but it would never be resolved and just released from your body. Much in the same way, your abuse, your behaviors and things like that you developed as a child when you went through your traumas. Those stick with you your whole life until you consciously work through them and forgive whoever is involved, or turn them over to God, get them off your plate, and then you start feeling relief. The relief of, I'm not angry over this that happened to me, or I don't now I don't understand this still, but I've turned it over to God, and so I can let go of it and not have it be a weight on my shoulders anymore, and not have it affect the way I treat my wife today or tomorrow or in the future. So much like that, our tensions build in the same way, and they don't go away until you resolve the problems, until you actually consciously resolve the problems. You can't bury them and just have them eventually go away. And it doesn't mean every single little thing that you disagree on, you need to sit down and have a serious conversation about, or whatever. I wouldn't say that, but I know that if there's tension between you regarding any circumstance, you kind of just have two choices. You can sit down and address the issue that caused the tension, work out compromise, negotiate something that pleases both of you as far as resolving it goes, and therefore releasing, just getting rid of the tension because it's resolved in a manner that you both are happy with. Or you can pretend it's not there, bury it, pretend it's not there, don't address it, and then just keep stacking them on top of one another. And then what happens is you get in a fight over something simple, and one of those unresolved issues comes up because you feel like maybe you're losing the argument. So you throw, an unresolved issue from the past out there to either deflect or to, like, I'm losing this battle, so now I'm going to throw something her way that's going to, hurt her or help me turn the tides to my favor, like it's some competition. And then she'll do the same because she's got a dozen things inside her or 100 things inside her that have been building because they're just unresolved. And so, yeah, it seems pretty obvious when you say it out loud what the best route is. Dealing with things, resolving them, working together, being friends, being husband and wife, partners, allies, teammates, whatever you want to say, or say all of them, because it's all true. The only thing you don't want to be is adversaries. You don't want to be opponents. That's the person you love the most in this world. And you're both, neither one of you are perfect. You both want the same thing in life. You both want happiness. You both want peace. You both want fun, laughter, traveling, sex, everything. You want adventure. You want the same things in life. So work together to resolve any problems, any issues, to get rid of the tension. And again, that sounds easy. And of course, we can all say that, like, yeah, but duh, no shit. That's we all know that that's how it should work. But what happens when something comes up and you start feeling yourself tensing up, breathing heavier, your face gets hot, you start using cuss words randomly, like not randomly, but you don't complete sentences without saying, effing this or, bullshit or, whatever. Well, we have to stop that behavior right when we feel it start coming up with us. And it's up to us to do it because we're the only ones that can take responsibility for our actions. If your spouse says, hey, you need to stop and back off, or you need to take 30 minutes and calm down, it just doesn't work when someone else tells you what you need to do. So we need to be responsible for ourselves, taking that time to calm down. So in chapter 2 of my Choices program book that I'm in, the chapter is about taking timeouts. I don't care for the term, I guess, but it's fine. But it's just taking timeouts. When you feel a problem come up and the tension starts building, that's normal. You're going to have problems and then it's going to cause tension. But yesterday or whatever, my last video talked about staying in that box where everything's okay, then you have a problem, then you have a little tension, you might have an argument, but then you have problem solving, and once it's solved, you're back to okay. Or you're okay, you have a problem, you have a little tension, you problem solve, you resolve it, and now you're back to okay. But you live in this box, this little circle that you just kind of go through those steps, everything that comes up in your life, which for all of us is going to be hundreds and thousands of things through our lifetime of little problems here or there, or challenges here or there, or issues here or there. Dealing with them, resolving them together in a way that both of you are happy and feel content with the resolution. That way neither one of you are carrying tensions with you moving forward. And then that way that never comes up again. Like, you get in an argument a month from now, or a problem comes up a month from now, that one that didn't get resolved for one of you, you two, now gets thrown into this one because now it's starting to compound. But what, just using me as an example, when I am feeling a certain way, I'm gonna call it insecure. So my wife is stunning. I know you wouldn't think that looking at me, but my wife is stunningly beautiful, just fucking gorgeous. 100 out of 100 people that see her think so. She's just gorgeous, drop dead beautiful. And naturally what comes with that is she gets hit on all the time. I mean, we own a bar, a bunch of drunk guys sitting around, making comments about my wife's, body, and, not as much when I'm around, but as soon as I leave the room, they say things, hit on her and things, just kind of disrespectful. But what do you expect when you're in a bar and people are drinking? It's a shame, but it's also a reality. So there are plenty of times where we argue or fight or disagree about what she could and should wear to work. She's very, I would like to say naive. She just likes to think, she likes to wear whatever she wants to wear, as short shorts and a half, crop top shirts. But you put yourself in a lot of compromising positions behind a bar, bending over to get beer, reaching up to get pull tabs, whatever it is, where your shirt comes up and you can see the bottom part of your boob, or like you can see within this of your yaya down there when you bend over, and a bunch of guys just staring at you for hours while they drink. It's just very uncomfortable for me, and so that's been a bone of contention. It has been. It never. She just feels like she should be able to wear what she wants, and no one should disrespect her or view her in any way. And I just, that's not really how it works with people, especially when they're drinking. So we argue about it. I criticize what she wears. I tell her straight up no, let me take a picture. I've got a dozen pictures on my phone. I'm like, okay, bend over like you're getting a glass off the bottom shelf, and let me take a picture from behind and show you what it looks like, so you can see what these customers are seeing. And most of the time she's like, oh my gosh, I had no idea, and it's no big deal. But plenty of other times it has been a big deal, and an argument where I feel insecure, and I criticize her. Because I feel insecure, I make her feel like she's doing something wrong, like she's dressing like that to get attention. I'm a guy. We don't wear this is what I wear to work every day. I don't wear crop top shirts. That would be disgusting. I don't wear short shorts. That would be disgusting. So I don't understand the need to wear clothes that show off so much of your body, that show the general public such intimate parts of your body. It doesn't make sense to me, but neither here nor there. That's something that I just have to trust with her. She knows, she's never going to cheat on me. She's never going to disrespect me. She's not, she's a very integrous person. She's, so I just, the bottom line is I have to leave it up to her. I have to say, at least let me show you what other people are seeing when you're bent over from behind. And if you still feel like wearing it, then so be it. You know what I mean? That's the only actual way to approach it for me, but that's not what I did. I would make her feel not integrous. I would make her feel like slutty, she's trying to get that attention from guys because it makes her feel good. She gets complimented all the time, and I'm sure it feels good to get complimented. But I would make her feel bad about other people complimenting her, saying how nice her tits are and stuff like that. It's uncomfortable for me, and I don't think that's abnormal, but I also know she's not doing anything wrong. And, the other people are probably crossing a line that you'd wish people wouldn't cross, but, you can't control other people. So, anyway, that becomes a fight in the morning sometimes with us. And so instead of resolving it, I get flustered and I get angry that's something I would do, is I would insult her, say yeah, you're doing it because you like guys staring, seeing this close to your vagina because of, whatever. But that's abusive. That's not why she was doing it. That's not at all what she had in mind. She likes those shorts. They're cute, so she wanted to wear them. But when I start doing that, it's a behavioral warning sign for me, that I need to recognize within myself. We all have them. We all have different ones. I'm sure plenty of us have the exact same ones, but we need to recognize them at all. So they talk about in this chapter, these timeouts that we're supposed to take. And then when do we take them? We take them when we recognize like either behavioral warning signs or cognitive warning signs or physiological warning signs that our bodies or that our minds or our mouths show us when we are getting outside of that box where it's tense, there's some tension, and instead of going towards working together to resolve that tension, you go outside of the box and start saying things, acting certain ways, feeling certain ways. Your palms get sweaty, you start heating up, your face starts getting hot, you're starting to get mad. And right then is when we need to say, I need to take a time out. I need to take a time out before I say anything else or before I do anything else stupid. So I need 15 minutes. I need 30 minutes to think about this. And so I don't say anything stupid or harmful, and I can come back and we can figure it out, like in a healthy manner where we work together. So these timeouts, that's something that you need to talk about with your partner. And this is, assuming that you're both kind of on the same page, working together, working towards you not being abusive anymore, or maybe neither one of you being abusive, because in a lot of cases, both of you, are abusive. But you talk about what a timeout means and you define what it means. And all it really means is, hey, I need a timeout when I start seeing these signs, feeling these signs, or verbalizing these signs that I'm entering an abusive mindset, and I'm getting out of that box that our relationship has to live in order for us to have a healthy relationship. I'm getting out of that box and I can feel it, and I need some time. Now that time needs to be defined. It doesn't have to be the same amount of time every time, but it needs to be, in the book they say 15 minutes to 1 hour. But that needs to be said, it needs to be defined, and it needs to be clear. It can't be, I'm getting pissed, I'm leaving. No, you just amplified the shit out of that. Like, now you're pissed and you're either punishing her by leaving her, or you are making her feel abandoned, like her abandonment. You're giving her those issues like, oh shit, when is he coming back? Is he leaving and going to work, and now I need to Uber to work or find my own way to work, or like what's going on? Like, that becomes abusive again. And that becomes very damaging moving forward, because what's going to happen the next time you say I need a timeout and you just storm out of the room, well, she's going to be scared to death that you're going to punish her for Lord knows how long this time. Like in this book, this guy's like, I need a timeout. He left, he went to Vegas for 3 days. He came back. She was mortified, sorry, all this stuff, promised to never do that again, because he left her for 3 days. And she missed him and was afraid he was gone forever. And then he came back and she was so sorry. And he felt like he accomplished something, or like he won. Like, yeah, the timeout thing works. Well, no, that's not what it is. That's abusive. Like, that's abusive, and you just tortured the shit out of somebody that loves you a lot, and scared the hell out of her and made her think that you're never coming back. And then when you came back, she was thankful. But that's not healthy. That's not healthy. Timeout is like, hey, I need 30 minutes. Just give me 30 minutes to go be by myself. I'm going to go for a 30-minute walk. I'm going to go shoot baskets for 30 minutes. I'm going to go work out for 30 minutes. I'm going to put my earphones in and just lay on the bed and close my eyes for 30 minutes and think about things. But you have to define what a timeout means for both of you. And a couple of key things about a timeout is you don't spend a timeout with other people. You don't, hey, I need 30 minutes, and now I'm going to call my brother or my best friend on the phone. I'm going to go for a walk and call them on the phone and talk to them, because you know what they're going to say. They're going to say, fuck that, dude. Don't let her treat you that way. Or, you're right, she's wrong, because they're your friends. They love you. you're always going to be right for the most part. Even your friends that tell you no, more often than not, are still going to side with you because they're your friends and not her friends or whatever. So that needs to be clear. Like, a timeout is something that you spend alone thinking about, what you are doing. And it needs to be not drinking, not I'm going to go smoke a pot and calm down. I'm going to, do some other drug or whatever during your timeout, because now you have an altered state of mind. And that's how I lost my wife. Literally, we had a little thing. We were drinking, and I had no, like, I wasn't thinking clear at all. Like, you lose brain cells, like you lose your common sense when you're drinking. It's just, there's no doubt about it. So anyway, you need to define all these things, and it's fine, like whatever your definitions are, but no more than an hour, 15 minutes, for the sooner you catch yourself, like your behavioral warning signs. As an example, so my behavioral warning signs, I went through the thing. Mine are, I start yelling, like my voice gets louder and louder, and I start yelling / raising my voice, talking over her. She's talking and I literally talk over her, so she can't talk anymore. I cuss, I just start cussing. It's stupid, but I do. Like, that's a sign that I am becoming an abusive person. Saying a cuss word is not abusive. When I start cussing, then I know I'm transitioning or am transitioned into that abusive person. So cussing, if I start saying cuss words, that's my sign. Like, hey, I'm getting really flustered here. I'm starting to cuss. I'm raising my voice. I need to step away for a few minutes. I need to take a timeout. And you literally say timeout. I need to take a timeout, because now you've both defined timeout. Like, a timeout is 15 minutes to an hour. You spend it alone, not with anyone else. You do not drink or do drugs during your timeout. And you come back when you say you're going to come back. If you say 30 minutes, you get your butt back there in 30 minutes. And if it's like, you know what, I said 30 minutes, but I'm still processing a few things, I need another 15 minutes. You have to give it to her, she has to give it to you. That's kind of the thing of a timeout. You have to respect the person trying to prevent himself or herself from crossing over into that abusive state, because that abusive state is going to cause damage that can't be, taken back. So what can be taken back is taking an extra 15 minutes to gather your thoughts. She might be upset about that, but that's a heck of a lot better than becoming abusive, because once you start becoming abusive, it's just a downward spiral. So I start insulting, like, I don't want to give example. I mean, I don't know, like, exact examples, but I start insulting her in one way or another. I just start insulting her. Sometimes I'll slam a door. I'm not a big door slammer, but sometimes, like, I'm aggressive, I guess, when I leave, and the door will slam more than it usually would. I've taken TV remotes. I'm like, fuck this, and I throw a TV remote, and it thing breaks off and batteries go flying. So, like, I'll throw things. I'm not a big thrower, but sometimes I'll throw things, and it's just a sign that I'm past my rational state and entering into that abusive state. And then I say things that literally I intend to hurt, that are intended to hurt her feelings or whatever. Like fuck this. I don't care about this anymore. Like, I don't want this relationship anymore. Like, I'm sick of this relationship, or whatever it is. I say things to intentionally hurt her. So when you feel yourself going there, it's very, very, very important that you, for yourself, stop everything. Tell her you need a timeout. Take your time out. Abide by the rules. Come back. I mean, during your timeout, here, this is really cool. During your timeout, I really appreciate this, because you're like, well, what do I do for 20 minutes? Start thinking about things? Well, what you start thinking about if you're frustrated is all the ways that you're right and she's wrong. That's what I do anyway. So I'll take 30 minutes, and boy, after 30 minutes, I've thought of a dozen other ways that I'm actually right and she's actually wrong. Well, that's not how we use a timeout. So let me go through this list right quick. I know it's running late, 25 minutes already, but these are things, and I took a picture of these on my phone because like these are things that I want to memorize. So when you take a timeout, you're like, whatever, you go for a walk and you start asking yourself, number one, is she actually trying to hurt me? Or do we just have an honest difference of opinion? Like, do I feel like she's actually trying to hurt me? Or do we just view this differently, you know? Because it's a huge difference between those two, obviously. Number two, will getting angry help solve this problem? I mean, I can't think of a time when the answer is yes to that one. It's like, will getting angry actually solve this? No, you know damn well it won't actually solve it. It's just gonna make it worse. So you start realizing this stuff as you go through these. This one, how can I compromise and negotiate a solution that works for both of us? So now instead of thinking of ways that you're right, now you're thinking of ways that you both can feel good about. So you're thinking about her and what she would want, and you and what you would want, and like, can we come up with a compromise in there to where we both feel good about you know, the resolution, and we can just drop this, you know what I mean? Like, it just goes away and it doesn't become, number one, abusive on my side. Number two, it gets resolved so we can enter back into the, you know, we're doing good stage, or we're okay. And the next one, am I blowing this out of proportion? I'm sure we're all guilty of doing that. Am I managing my anger responsibly? Well, first of all, you just took your time out, so the answer is hopefully yes. Like, yeah, I handled that properly. Like, I took a time out. Now, you need to take your time out soon, not after you've already abused. You take it as soon as you start seeing your warning signs, feeling your warning signs. Literally, sometimes you just start feeling your face get flushed and you're getting pissed. Time out right then. Before you say anything stupid or do anything stupid, time out right then. Me, if I start raising my voice, like, whoa, time out. Like, I'm raising my voice, I know I'm starting to get mad, I'm gonna take 15 minutes. And then in those 15 minutes, just go through this damn list and ask yourself some of these, because the answer is, you know, like, it calms you down. Like, what would I say to a friend who was in my situation? You know, that's a pretty good one, I think, a lot of times. And like, is there a better way of thinking about this? What are the consequences going to be if I get outside of the box, of my box of, you know, problem, tension, problem resolution, back to okay? Like, what are the consequences going to be if I get out of that box? Always bad, very bad. You know, so can I say and do what I need to do without getting angry? Like, once you get to that point, you can be done with your timeout. Like, now I can say what I need to say and do what I need to do without getting angry. Like, I can just say it. Do I want to be angry? The answer to that's probably always no. And then you ask yourself, like, have I said or done anything that I need to apologize for? Like, did I stop myself in time before I did it? Or did I say a couple of things and then say, whoa, and now I need to say, like, I'm sorry that I said those things before I called a timeout. I'll work on being faster next time. I'll work on doing it better next time, and I'll call a timeout before I get to that point, and I'm really sorry that I said that. Am I coming across as hurtful, blaming, or controlling? Have I shown respect for my partner's point of view? A huge one. Like, put yourself in his or her shoes, and it will help so much with, like, hey, they're not trying to hurt me. They view this totally different. They feel different, think different, whatever it is. Putting yourself in their shoes, it just helps so much with everything all the time. Am I acting like a friend or adversary? That's a big one. Have I been trying to solve a problem or just trying to win an argument? Oh Lord, I am the worst at trying to win an argument. I hate it so bad. I hate it so bad. But those are so important. Like, you're not here to win a damn argument. Nobody wins an argument. There's never a right or wrong, hardly ever. It's a difference of opinion. It's a different viewpoint. It is two people feeling a different way about it. The same thing. There's no win or losing, or there's losing every time. There's no winning an argument ever. Have I been attacking the problem or my partner? Yeah. Is my anger now going towards my partner, or is it actually trying to attack the problem and resolve it? And then, how can I use these skills that we're going through here and lead by example? Like, maybe your partner's not doing the greatest at controlling herself, and like, hey, I can lead this, and I can call the timeout, gather my thoughts, go through these questions, and say, look, you know what? Let's whatever. And you can lead by example and pull her out of her slump of like, where she was heading, maybe in the wrong direction. So those are things that you go through when you do your timeout, and your timeout needs to be defined, but they're awesome. Like, realistically, you can, if you take a 30-minute timeout, you go through these questions sincerely, you'll pull out of it. You'll pull out of it, and you'll get back, and you'll say, look, like, I'm sorry, I was heading in the wrong direction. I thought about kind of the way it feels like like how you're feeling, and what if we try this? What if you try that? Or maybe you can suggest a few things that maybe I haven't thought about, and I'm all ears. I'm willing to listen to anything that you have, to say, or any suggestions you have, and like, let's figure this out, and so we can just resolve it and move on. But you can do all that if you catch yourself. If you start going abusive, it's really, really, really hard to turn back. So these timeouts are vital to ending your abuse. Get good at your warning signs. Pick up on it immediately, take a time out, go through your questions, resolve your problems. Until next time.